So there's this director I don't talk about much, Taika Waititi. He is well, okay, he's not my favorite. He's one of my favorite directors. And I love his film Jojo Rabbit. I mention him a lot in videos, but I don't think I've ever made a spotlight video talking about one of his films, besides, of course, Jojo Rabbit, the most recent of his films. But let's talk about him. This is a film called The Hunt for the Wild People, or The Wilder People, whatever you want to call it. Now, I watched this on my grandparents. They have a Roku, and I rarely use the Roku app. I don't think I've actually ever used it, but they were looking for things to watch on it, and I saw this movie, Hunt for the Wild People, and I had heard things about it. I had never watched it. It is a Taika. I knew it was a Taika Waititi movie, so I need to watch it. So I went over to the house. I sat down. We watched it, and they really liked it. I really liked it. However, I do have issues with it, but I thought this would be a fun one to review because I want to spotlight more indie movies on my channel, and I also want to talk about a director I really admire and like very much, Taika Waititi. Everyone kind of has kind of that New Zealand accent, or some kind of like accent within the movie, and that's part of his style. Taika Waititi is from New Zealand, and so that's kind of there. So this movie is about a young boy who's a foster kid. He goes to stay with this lady and her husband, and she tragically dies, and so he goes to fake his own death and leave till his uncle, who he calls his uncle, played by Sam Neill, goes to find him and drag him home, and then they both get stranded, and now people are labeling a pervert, and he's on the hunt for him. So the meaning kind of the title has two meanings. We have literal people on the hunt for these two, but it's also just these people are wild. They're living. They're kind of on the hunt for something within inside themselves. Basically, we have two characters who are trying to figure out what their spot is in life. One is older and kind of giving up on life and kind of not really satisfied. He's always grumpy and so it's kind of him finding a meaning in his older age and him kind of doing that. And then we have our character who is younger and kind of had a screwed up life, and him trying to find or hunt for a normal life with a normal family, and kind of what that means. So we watch that journey and we watch these characters really grow, and it's kind of a generic story, of course, but it's told in a way that's interesting and unique, which is and it's told great through the performances. It has a great sense of humor. Where my issues lie within this film is is not the humor, but the style. Wes Anderson is a great director. However, he's kind of imitating him too much. He literally has chapters within the film. That is a very obvious thing that Wes Anderson is very known for doing. He has random songs play. He starts the film with a choir of children, which is Wes Anderson's very known for having choirs of children sing music throughout the film. That's very obvious. Just a lot of details and things that are very obvious Wes Anderson. But overall, it's a really well-directed movie. It's very funny. It's got elements of his style. However, this is definitely one of his weakest films. It's not because of how kind of generic this story is. You've seen a type of story where two people go off kind of on an adventure together and other people hunting after them. This is a story that's been told in so many different movies and TV shows and things like that. It's told in a good way, and it's not bad. It's just because we're so used to it, and it has the least of his humor and his style within the film. It's still a great film, and I really recommend it. And if you have a Roku, get the Roku channel. This is a free app. You can watch this movie for free. There's like ads every 30 to 40 minutes or something like that. So if you so you know you have to deal with ads, but it's not too bad. And you get to watch this movie for free if you have that service. So and you don't have to pay for the Roku channel. That's a free thing that comes with your Roku. So I recommend that.